Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopiyana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopiyana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopiyana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrayajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vrayajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jai Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Grantara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki, all glory permanently, Hare Hare. Thank you, dear Sylvia. So today, first of all, thank you so much for being here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam class. We are few today in this morning, but we continue with the normal temple programs today. For today, we continue the prayers of Devaki, text number 28. Yeah? Okay, so let's repeat, but first let's glorify a little bit Bhagavatam, who is Krishna himself, so invocating auspiciousness. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanang Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Yaya Nudirajet Nasta Prayesu Vadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamai Sloke Bhaktir Bhavaiti Naistikim. So now Satvang Goraugra Senat Majang Nanas Trahitastam Vritya Nitrasahasi Rupanchedam Paurusandhiyanadishnyam Mapratyaksam Mansa Drishan Krishista Satvang Goragra Senat Majangnas Trahitastam Vritya Vritrasahasi Rupanchedam Paurusandhyanadishnyam Mad pratyaksham man sadrishan krishishtaha. Sattvangoraugra senatmajannas. Trahi trastam britya britrasabhasi. Rupanchedam paurusandhyanadisnyam. Na pratyaksham man sadrishyam krishista. Somebody would like to repeat, please? Sattvangoraugra senamanajanas. Trahi trastam britya britasahasi. Rupanchedam paurusandhyanadijnyam. Ma pratyasam man sadrisam krishishtaha. Sattvangoraugra senammajanas. Trahi tristam britya vritasahasi. Rupanchedam paurusandhyanadisnyam. Na pratyaksham man sadrishan krishestaha. Sigue. Sattvangoraugra senamajanas. Trahi trastam breha vritasahasi. Rupanchedam paurusandhyanadisnyam. Ma pratyasam man sadrisam krishista. Satyam loratma sudhidam. Thank you. Let's repeat word by word and the translation. Sa, your lordship. Tvam, you. Gorat, terrible first. Ugrasena Atmaya, from the son of Ugrasena. Na, us. Trahi, kindly protect. Trasta, who are very much afraid of him. Britya vitrasaha. Asi, you are naturally the destroyer of fear of your servants. Rupam, in your Vishnu form. Cha, also. Idam, this. Purusham, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhyana Disnyam, who is appreciated by meditation. Ma, not. Pratyaksham, directly visible. Mansadrisam, to those who see with their material eyes. Krishista, please be. Translation. My Lord, because you dispel all the fear of your devotees, I request you to save us and give us protection from the terrible fear of Kansa. Your form as Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is appreciated by yogis in meditation. Please make this form invisible to those who see with material eyes. Purport. The word Dhyana Disnyam is significant in this verse because of the form of Lord Vishnu is meditated upon by yogis. Dhyana Vishvatita Tat Gatena Manasa Pasyanti Yam Go Yogina. Devaki requested the Lord, who has appeared as Vishnu, to conceal that form, for she wanted to see the Lord as an ordinary child, like a child appreciated by persons who have material eyes. Devaki wanted to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead has factually appeared or she was dreaming the Vishnu form. If Kansa were to come, she thought, upon seeing the Vishnu form, he would immediately kill the child. But if he saw a human child, he might reconsider. Devaki was afraid of Ugrasena Atmaja. That is, she was afraid not of Ugrasena and his men, but the son of Ugrasena. Thus, she requested the Lord to dissipate that fear. Since he is always ready to give protection, Avajan, to his devotees, my Lord, she prayed, I request you to save me from the cruel hands of the son of Ugrasena, Kansa. I'm praying to your Lordship to please rescue me from this fearful condition, because you are always ready to give protection to your servitors. The Lord has confirmed this statement in Bhagavad Gita by assuring Arjuna, you might declare to the world, my devotee shall never be vanquished. While thus praying to the Lord for rescue, Mother Devaki expressed her motherly affection. I understand that the transcendental form is generally perceived in meditation by the great yogis or sages, but I am still afraid, because as soon as Kansa understands that you have appeared, he might harm you. So I request that for time being, you become invisible to our material eyes. In other words, she requested the Lord to assume the form of an ordinary child. My only cause of fear from my brother Kamsa is due to your appearance, my Lord Madhusudan. Kansa might know that you are already born. Therefore, I request you to conceal this form of your Lordship, which holds the four symbols of Vishnu, namely the conch shell, the disc, the club, the lotus flower. My dear Lord, at the end of the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation, you put the whole universe within your abdomen. Still, by your unalloyed mercy, you have appeared in my womb. I am surprised that you imitate the activities of ordinary human beings just to please your devotee. Devaki was so afraid of Kansa that she could not believe that Kansa would be unable to kill the Lord Vishnu, who was personally present. Out of motherly affection, therefore, she requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to disappear. Although because of the Lord's disappearance, Kansa will harass her more and more, thinking that the child born of her was hidden somewhere, she did not want the transcendental child to be harassed and killed. Therefore, she requested Lord Vishnu to disappear. Later, when harassed, she will think of him within her mind. Onam Gyanati Mirandasya, Gyanan Gyana Salakaya, Chakshurulumitanjena, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Ukankaroti Vachalam, Fangundangayate Grim, Jat Kripata Maham Bande, Sri Guru Dinatarinam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutade, Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaura Vani Pracharine, Nirvisese Sunjavadi, Paschatya Deshatarinam. Vanchakalpataruyascha, Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Vatare Śrīmate Śrīdha Hanuman Prasak Swami iti namine. Thank you again for being here. So we are revising, trying to learn, studying this part of appearance of Krishna. As we see here, Krishna already appeared. Previous chapters we saw how even demigods were very much anxious and very much amazed how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is going to appear, and they came. While him was in the womb of Devaki, they offered prayers, beautiful prayers, describing all the glories of the Lord, his opulence, his powers, and especially his kindness, his mercy. And then, in previous texts, we saw how even Vasudeva, after seeing the Lord appearing, they are in a jail, as we see, as we know, in a prison. We can imagine the scene. It's the prison, it's a bit dark, the place, but nevertheless, due to the presence of Krishna in their heart, also present, physically present in front of them, everything was illuminated, a lot of lights. And in that way, Vasudeva could understand that God, the Supreme Personality of God, had appeared. And he also offered prayers describing all his opulences, how the power of Krishna. But also he said that mentally he closed his eyes, and due to happiness he wanted to give charity. As Kshatriya, it's giving charity. By meditation he was giving away a lot of thousands of cows to brahmanas, and in his meditation of gratitude and happiness. But then also, after doing that, he started offering prayers. He paid obeisances to the Lord, doing prayers. So that they are both, Devaki and Vasudeva, they are both in the jail, in the prison. And I was trying to understand how, for example, after Vasudeva offering prayers, now it's Devaki doing prayers, offering prayers too. So both are sharing the same experience. So we can understand that the continuation of the prayers of Vasudeva now are also the prayers of Devaki with the same mood. She also prays about the glories, the opulences of the Lord, describing all the majesty of the Lord, or how the creation takes place and how the Lord is entering, but at the same time He's not there. And it's quite amazing. I was trying to understand the logic. So it said, for example, due to association, we develop the same qualities of the like-minded people. So in that way, I can understand how Vasudeva and Devaki, they were sharing the same mood, because the type of prayers that they are offering, we can see it's just similar. They have the same mood, appreciating the majesty of the Lord, and at the same time, in the last verse of Vasudeva, for example, he said, "My Lord, I'm sure that you will kill all these demons and who are harassing these innocent people, and convinced that you will do it." So he's clear with that. But then the last verse said, "But Kansa will come and he will, knowing that you appear, that you are Vishnu, he will try to kill you immediately." That was the last verse. And you can feel, if we revise a little bit after describing all the opulence, why is the need to mention that Kansa will come and try to kill you? It's because, as Devaki, he shares the same mood, the parental, the Vatsalya mood towards Krishna. How Yoga Maya, the internal energy of the Lord, is allowing them to experience that mood of parenting, Vatsalya mood. So parents, what they do is, by nature, they are very much protective, afraid for the safety of the children or parents. Is that true, Prabhu? Yeah? What to say mothers? Mothers also, their constant meditation is how the child is there, if everything okay. We can see in the interaction with devotees in our community, mothers are all the time, where is the child, what is happening, how is, if he eats, everything, all this concerning for the safety of the child. That mood, it's also what is happening right now in this point that Devaki is experiencing. Having that knowledge of the opulence of the Lord, nevertheless, she is experiencing that mood of that bhava, of motherly nature, very much worried about the Krishna's safety. She knows that Krishna is the most powerful, everything emanates from him. So, but now she's afraid that Kansa will come and kill him. So sounds a little bit contradictory. How is that possible? So in my notes, I wrote some notes, trying to prepare for the class. I thought, for example, we can reflect a little bit this point about the knowledge, the proper knowledge that Devaki and Vasudeva are having at this point, or this showing that knowledge, Sambandha Gyan. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, when in 10th chapter, when he's talking about his opulence, all his majesty, in the text 17 he says, "Those who knows my opulences, my power, they are engaged in my transcendental devotional service happily, because they know who is Krishna. And then, because they know who is Krishna, they know who are them. If we know who is Krishna, all his powers, then we will understand who we are. By having that understanding, that Sambandha Gyan, so then we understand who we are in relationship with Krishna, so what we need to do. So we will be engaged in devotional service." So that is quite interesting, important point for all of us to understand as practicing devotees, how much we are eagerly, enthusiastically engaged in devotional service. And if we are experiencing some struggles or perhaps hesitating in doing services or perhaps relaxing or lacking a bit of quality in the performance in our service, that reflects how much we are convinced or we have proper understanding of who is Krishna. If we are really, if we have Sambandha Gyan about Krishna's power of opulence, if we understand who is Krishna, we wouldn't be able, or we wouldn't be experiencing hesitations in being engaged happily in devotional service. So it can be perhaps an important point to reflect on ourselves whenever we face some perhaps doubts if I should do this service or no, or how I'm doing this service. So we can see, I'm convinced of Krishna is God, who I am actually in relationship with Krishna. So it can be helpful for us to perhaps shake up a little bit and say, yeah, actually, who I am, who is God, so what I should do. So in that way can help us to develop proper mood in our service, because as we say, most of us, we are familiar with the nectar of instruction. And in the nectar of instruction, in the text number 3, it describes 6 factors important for the successful performance of devotional service, successes in the spiritual practices. And one of the important factors is enthusiasm. And how Prabhupada describes enthusiasm? Somebody knows what enthusiasm is? How Prabhupada describes? We're talking about here happily engaged, enthusiastically engaged in devotional service, knowing that who is Krishna and his power and opulence. So what could be enthusiasm? According to Prabhupada, in Nectar of Instruction, it says, enthusiasm is the effort motivated with intelligence. So knowing who we are serving to. So it's important to understand who is Krishna, the knowledge of Krishna, who is who we are, so will give us the proper enthusiasm to be engaged in devotional service. But the secret is, open secret, is that we need constantly to feed ourselves with this Sambandha Gyan, because we have the tendency to forget. So we need to constantly revise, constantly hearing about it, and naturally, eventually, this will be just part of our identity. At this point, as practicing devotees, personally in my case, I would say, as practicing devotees, many times we forget about this important factor, and so that is reflected in the quality of our spiritual practice or engagement in devotional service. So this is the first point that I wanted to mention about it, because how Devaki and Vasudeva are showing here full understanding of this aspect of Sambandha Gyan of Krishna, and how they are now engaged fully, very much in the service of the Lord. In the plans of Krishna, they are there, accepting what are the plans of Krishna, so be ready to serve him. So in this specific verse, we see 4 points. We can appreciate 4 points that Devaki is praying to. The first is, please remove that fear that the devotee has. That's one point, fear that all of us in some degrees we experience due to, what do you think? It's because we have fear because, pardon? Attachments, yeah. Why we have attachments? Material? Material identification. And why we have material identification? Thinking that we are the body. And why we think that we are the body? Yeah, we forgot our relationship with Krishna. That means ignorance. Yes? Yeah, fear is due to ignorance. Forgetting who we are, who is God, what is our relationship with Him. Yeah? So, in the one point of Devaki, it's please remove this fear that we have. She wants to become fearless, because a pure devotee is fearless. Yeah, so she's praying for that. Remove that fear. The second point is please protect us. Protect us from cancer. So if we remember in previous text, especially in the second chapter, Prabhupada is quoting Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. This, as far as I remember, is in text number 6. When Prabhupada, chapter Bhagavatam 10, Canto, chapter 2, text number 6, Prabhupada is explaining that Vishwanatha Chakravarti clarifies that Kamsa is actually, or represents, the material fear, the fear to material existence. And how Kamsa killed the 6 previous children of Devaki, the first 6 sons. So those are 6 dangers on our life. You remember what they represent, the 6 children, the 6 sons? Lust, anger, greed, illusion, what else? Pride, yeah, falsehood, and envy, yeah? So those are the enemies that we need to be very much aware as practicing devotees. And material life means indulging in this, or being overwhelmed or influenced by these anarthas. So Devaki, it's afraid of that material life, the material existence, and it's cancer representing that. Vishwanatha Chakravarti said that by she having fear of cancer means fear of material existence, she's getting gradually purified of those anarthas, those remaining traces of those anarthas that as practicing devotees consciously, we need to try to work out to avoid them. Yeah, so Devaki is asking protection of that, this materialistic life tendency, living in a materialistic way. So that is something that we all also need to constantly pray for. There is a nice pastime with Srila Prabhupada and his devotees. Once Prabhupada, in a class, in a conversation, if I'm not wrong, Prabhupada asked his disciples, what is the difference between you and I? And the devotees, they say, well, there are many differences between you, Prabhupada, and us. So a lot of difference. But Prabhupada didn't reply much about it, but it was time for darshan. And then they went all to take darshan, and Prabhupada was in front of the altar, very prayerful. Devotees were observing that. And then they asked after to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you were praying, what you were praying for? And Prabhupada said, well, I was praying that may I not be victimized by Maya. Please, my Lord, protect me. May I not be victimized by Maya. So for that reason, then Prabhupada said, no, the difference between you and I is because you are not afraid of Maya. So, but I will never fall in Maya because Now you know why I will never be, why I won't fall down. It's because I'm constantly praying to Krishna for protection. And he has that conviction because he's constantly praying for protection. He feels the protection of the Lord. In that way is the realized knowledge. He's convinced that he won't fall down as long as he's keeping constantly praying for protection. Perhaps it's something practical that we all need to do it constantly. Yes? So Devaki is doing that also in these prayers. Please protect us from Kansa, who represents the fear to material existence. The third point is that your divine form is meant for yogic meditation. The yogis are always trying to perform for many years, practice of austerity, controlling the senses and the mind, with the purpose to eventually have the opportunity to see Krishna in their heart, to have that vision of Krishna in their heart. So that form of Krishna in the heart is said that is the Vishnu form, 4 arms with the 4 instruments is the chakra. No, first is the Sankha, chakra, Gada, and the lotus. Yeah, that form of Paramatma that many yogis for many years, many years, austerities. So then maybe they are able to see, to have that vision in their heart. But Devaki is a bit astonished because she's surprised. That form that those yogis are meditating for many years with a lot of effort is not present in front of her, just before her. So it's appeared physically there present, and she said, "Oh my Lord, this is the form that many yogis are meditating upon, and now you appear here from my womb. How is that possible?" So she is so much amazed. And that's one of the points that also she's mentioning, but at the same time, this is more the most beautiful part of this verse, is that she's then asking Krishna, please hide that form. Please hide this form, because it shouldn't be seen by those who have materialized, means Kansa. Why she's asking that? How we can understand that? Prabhupada explains that it's because of her motherly nature. She wants to protect Krishna. She wants, as mother, look out for the safety of her child. So please hide. Let's hide your form. In the next verse, the following verses, we will see more about this beautiful, this expression of motherly nature, that Vatsalya Bhav that she's expressing, despite that she knows all the opulences of the Lord. This is quite important point that we need to also appreciate how Bhagavatam, through the whole Bhagavatam, we see that what is the main point, the main theme in Bhagavatam is the loving exchanges, the intimate relationship that devotees have with the Lord. That's the main thing that Krishna appreciates. Yes, that awe and reverence is there, but what more attracts Krishna is the intimate loving devotion that these devotees are expressing. That even him, being the all creator, the powerful of everything emanates from him, he himself allows to be controlled by that devotion and will follow the prayers of Devaki. After appearing with 4 arms, he will accept the prayers of Devaki and he will transform to his original form of 2 arms form, Krishna's form. So he will show, after his majesty, he will show his sweetness. So because the devotion of his devotee. Yeah, so that's quite important also for us to understand how, for example, we see here points like yogis, the power of the austerity, the powers of rigid, for many years, austerity, control of the mind, senses, to achieve the form of the Lord. That can be easily achieved by devotion, that it's even more, it's beyond just that meditation of the Lord appear in the heart of the yogi. The Lord appeared physically present before his devotee because of devotion. So we can see now the superiority of bhakti upon the astanga of meditation process. That's one point that we can appreciate. And also that how Vatsalya, Bhava, the Rasa Tattva, overrides the Sambandha Gyan, the Gyan and the knowledge that many people, a lot of even philosophers can be struggling or trying to achieve. That knowledge can be easily override by devotion. Because we see that Devaki and Vasudeva they have fully complete understanding, appropriate understanding of the opulence of who is God. All those prayers describe that high level of knowledge, philosophical knowledge. Devaki is describing that fully clear understanding. I was also revising the topics. Each verse, what is this meaning? It's quite a high level of philosophy. But that it's override in her behavior, her expression, by Rasa Tattva, the Vatsalya Ras that she is displaying at the last part of the verse. Okay, so I wonder if you would like to help me to understand a little bit this point. How is this expressed in Bhagavatam, that Vatsalya mood of Devaki, trying even to sacrifice herself? She knows that if Krishna is hidden, because if we protect Krishna, I'm praying, please Krishna, transform your form arm, Vishnu form to just an ordinary child for your safety, because if Kansa comes, he will try to kill you. So if you're an ordinary baby, because also Prabhupada very nicely, I like this way that Prabhupada how nicely explained that Devaki, at this point when she has a lot of knowledge, but then she sees the Supreme Personality of Godhead in front of her, like a child, and she said, oh, this is really happening? Because, the Supreme Lord, everything emanates from Him. Now it's my child? Am I dreaming? Perhaps it's an illusion? What? So she wanted to confirm if this is reality or not. So she's asking Krishna, please hide that form, because if you hide your form as an ordinary baby, then I can contrast my vision. Maybe the reality is different. So I'm dreaming, because it doesn't make sense that the Supreme Lord with all powers can be in front of me, ordinary woman. So you understand that part? So that is another beautiful part, that the subtlety in this verse that nicely our Prabhupada and the purpose explain about that too. But the one thing that I wanted to ask you is that if you know another case or other cases in Bhagavatam, how devotees are willing to sacrifice themselves for the protection of their child. It's any pastime in the Bhagavatam that describes similar attitude, because Devaki doesn't fear that Kamsa will come and harass her if the baby disappears or is hidden or somewhere else, because she wanted to protect Krishna, trying to hide him. even that Kansa after will come and see, where is the baby? And he will try to harass her more. She doesn't fear that part because she's more now worried for Krishna's protection. So what similar attitude we hear, what pastime describes similar attitude of a devotee trying to protect their child despite of being affected or perhaps sacrificing themselves? Do you know any pastime in Bhagavatam? Similar attitude? Oh, let's quickly revise the first, second, third. What pastime in Bhagavatam is that? No? Well, okay. I think it's Uttara. You remember Uttara? Uttara, when the Brahmastra was coming, it was directed to harm Parikshit in her womb. She ran to Krishna and said, please, please protect me. No, not just me. Protect my womb, protect my baby. I don't care if the Brahmastra burn me or kill me, but please protect my baby. That was Uttara asking protection to Krishna in that way. So the same mood it's described here, Devaki. She doesn't care about her own safety, but her prayer is more reflecting of how can her baby can be protected due to her motherly Vatsalya ras. Okay? Also, we can see, if we compare how this Vatsalya mood can be reflected in different ways. When Mother Yasoda, for example, when Mother Yasoda saw Krishna, if we compare the experience of Devaki and Mother Yasoda, Devaki saw the opulence of the Lord. She was very much astonished, amazed of that, and she prayed to the Lord himself for the safety of the Lord. Is that the case? Yes? So in the case of Mother Yasoda, it said that when one day she was nursing Krishna, and Krishna, after drinking the milk, he was a little bit tired and he just yawned. And Mother Yasoda, what he saw in Krishna's mouth, do you know? You remember that pastime? Mother Yasoda saw the whole universe, the universal form, not all the opulence is there. And she saw, oh no, maybe I'm tired, it's my problems with my vision and just illusion, or maybe some bad omens of my child. So she was praying to Vishnu for the protection of her child. Yeah, she didn't pray to Krishna, also, oh, it's my son, the child, God, so I should pray to him. No, no, no. She was praying to Vishnu for the safety of her son. Also, when Krishna was praying with his friends, and they accused him that he was eating earth, Mother Yasoda saw another time that opulence of the Lord in his mouth, and she thought, is this God? It never crossed that to her mind. No, this is just perhaps bad omens, again, illusion, but her care was, why no Krishna is eating? Because now he ate earth, so he won't be hungry, he needs to eat. That was her fear, her concern. So I just wanted to point out how a rasa tattva override Sambandha Jnana. So it's quite important and very beautifully presented in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So in conclusion, we can say that Bhakti gives us access to access to have we can see God in his personal form that is very much appreciated. Even the yogis, great sages, and hankering for bhakti can give us that vision and more, because it's giving us the opportunity to see God personally. Then we can say that bhakti overrides tattva. So I would say this can be the conclusion of this verse, in my understanding. Oh, another point. So Devaki is asking for fearlessness. How a devotee, a practicing devotee, can achieve fearlessness. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya gave us a practical instruction, and his instructions to Sanatana Goswami, Madhya, chapter 22. Lord Chaitanya says, the appearance of bhakti that gives us fearlessness, it can be achieved only by sadhu sangha. So if us practicing devotees we want to become fearless, we need to cultivate appropriate or properly sadhu sangha, sangha association of those who are fearless, pure devotees of the Lord. Like our Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, so means more studying Prabhupada's book, who lives forever in his books. Okay? Any questions? Any comments at this point? Oh? Yes, my dear Sylvia.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for the nice class. Mataji, you mentioned that when we understand Krishna, with that Sambandha Gyan, we are able to do devotional service. But sometimes, Mataji, when we try to understand how superior Krishna is, we understand that he creates everything, he destroys everything. Then through that, we realize that we are absolutely nothing in front of him. And by that realization, we can do our services in awe and reverence, but not out of sweetness. Mm-hmm. So how do we understand that?
That's a nice question, Sylvia. Thank you. The point that in that text, the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 17, Prabhupada also explained that because Krishna himself established that whoever knows my powers, my opulences, is happily engaged in my devotional service. Prabhupada, our Acharya, explained clearly, yes, by knowing Krishna, we will naturally understand who we are, because we don't have power. So that is the word that Prabhupada uses, if we sincerely, honestly analyze our condition. So we will understand who we are in relation to Krishna. So having proper knowledge of Krishna is not just acknowledging his power, his opulences, his majesty, but it's also acknowledging his love, his sweetness, that is the topmost quality that he has. So full understanding of Krishna implies that. By having that full understanding of Krishna, we will not just limit ourselves to awe and reverence, because his sweetness is more attractive. That his sweetness will override that awe and reverence, and will even push us to reciprocate with that loving exchange, with that mood, because of his sweetness. So having full understanding of Krishna means that knowing his majesty and his sweetness. Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
In the end, you mentioned that we can cultivate fearlessness by associating with, like through sadhu sangha. So, can you explain a bit what does associating with devotees will mean? Like, is it hearing from them, serving them? So, if you can just explain how we can associate properly.
Yeah, and also, at this point, thank you for your question, Mataji. In my limited understanding, Nectar of Instruction give us nice description what or how we should associate with devotees. Different kind of association, and you nicely say by serving them, by hearing them. What is association of devotees? To my understanding, is all what you said, but at the same time, is the mood. It's quite important understanding if I have the proper attitude in my service to devotees, especially those who are advanced devotees, because I can receive from them, from devotees that, I would say in one word, well, if we can say neophyte or beginners devotees, we are more caring with them, so we try to help them. That is the association that we can give, trying to care for the newcomers, beginner devotees. But those who are advanced devotees that we can learn from, also with the similar devotees, our peers. But basically serving, the attitude that we have by serving, knowing that Krishna is organizing, orchestrating this beautiful encounter, so that in a way that he will also give us the ability to understand, he will provide the message, and he is the message itself as well. So the proper attitude, the mood of service, and also hearing, especially hearing when we associate with our Srila Prabhupada, each time he will reveal more and more. And it's that also the pastime of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. When Devahuti, she was glorifying her husband because he gave her all the facilities for material enjoyment, protection, and then he was going. He was leaving home, and she said, "Whoa, well, I'm not happy because I didn't achieve that fearless state that you are. So you gave me all the facilities, but you didn't give me that." So Kardama Muni understood that point, that aspect, and he gave her a son. But who was the son? Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila. Due to his instructions, because of her serving him and hearing from him, she achieved eventually that fearless state. So in my understanding, it's by the proper service attitude, the proper mood, and with that proper attitude of hearing with those high people, so we also eventually achieve that fearlessness. It's just complementing, repeating what you said. Thank you, Mataji. Any other comment and questions? No? Thank you so much. Granted as Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,